Hello everyone and welcome back to the Operation Persian Freedom campaign for the A-10C II in DCS World, and welcome to mission 16, Yasuj, which is the last mission in the campaign. So for this one we are now pushing in the final little city held by the IRGC, that is Yasuj. For this one we've got a bit of a split mission. First we are going in with the second wave. The first wave does a SEAD strike to take out the SAM launchers. We then follow up to take out any remaining air defences. We're to try and do this in a single pass before turning north and then hitting an artillery depot as our secondary target in the back of the city. We're then to return to the stack and wait orders to come in to support as and when necessary. So yeah, it was a really interesting mission. We had a couple of bugs with it, but let's jump in and see how it went.
Gunman 2-1 approaching waypoint 1. Gunman 2-2, form up.
Copy, Steve. Forming on you.
Gunman flight, help waypoint 1 and stand by. Contacting Overlord. Overlord, gunman flight assembled and ready to proceed as frag.
Copy, gunman 1-1, to proceed.
Squadron, push to waypoint 2. Hold your altitude blocks. Gunman, once you're in marshal, pay attention to your position. Do not get ahead of the seed flights, and make sure you stay out of the Yasuj SAM zone.
Been a while since we've been up as a squadron like this.
Yeah, reminds me of the red flag sortie, but with higher stakes. Let's go over the plan again. Lots of moving parts out here today.
Copy.
Squadron is going to hold a marshal until the Vipers have completed their seed mission. Once the SAM threat is gone, the squadron will move to orbit close to Yasuj in the stack. Once we're in the stack, we need to start identifying the remaining air defense targets in our sector. Our push time from stack is 0315 Zulu. We then push to Yasuj and destroy the targets in our sector. On the way out the AO, we will look to hit our secondary target. We need to hit our TOT on these attacks. We have 6 waves heading over Yasuj. From there, we will hold back in the stack and monitor the radios for any CAS requests. Any questions?
Negative. I think I got it. How do you think the fighting is gonna go?
Let's just say I'm glad I'm up here and not down there.
Copy that.
Outlaw 2-1, Overlord. Commence attack.
Wilco, Outlaw 2-1. Magnum. Outlaw 2-1, SAM's offline.
Copy, Outlaw. Renegade, start your attack. Gunman push to stack.
Wilco, Renegade inbound.
Gunman 1-1. Alpha flight, Bravo flight, push to your stack positions. Gunman 2-1 stacked. Bravo flight, start marking your targets. We push to target in 6 minutes.
Copy, Steve.
So I spent the next few minutes just circling just under the cloud layer so I can actually get visual on the target, looking around the area. We have a fairly easy box. It's a section that is encircled by a road just north of a major bridge that is marked as a waypoint. And so I search in there looking for any hot targets, do spot an SA-9, Don't really spot anything else during this other than man pads. I do mark the location of man pads, but don't really consider them a major threat. And then have a look around, but don't see anything else. And so just before we need to go in, the game does automatically prompt me to check in with my wingman.
Ronnie, 3 minutes till push. You have a target list.
Hey, firm, I've got 3 targets. 1 times truck mounted AAA, 1 times SA-9, and 1 times ZU-57. You got them all marked?
So yeah, I missed the truck and the ZU-57, so do ask him for those coordinates. So I enter those 2 coordinates, do check that they are on target, so I've not made a typing error, and then put my targeting pod back over to the SA-9, which is my primary target. I want to get a Maverick on it first, and just when I'm done with all of that, it is time for us to prepare to go.
Gunman 1-1 beginning attack. All gunman flights push at 30-second intervals as fragged. Ronnie, let's go. Push now. I'll press the attack. You're on lookout. I'm going to try and hit all 3 in one run. If I can't, then on my say, break off and press your attack.
Copy, lead.
So I kind of messed up my positioning a wee bit there, so was pointing very much the wrong way. So I had to turn really hard to get my correct time on target. But did come in here, lock up the first target quite easily, and then rifle 1. Flip over to the waypoint for the truck, as that's the closest target. Then do just adjust the TGP a little bit to make sure it's spot on. Then do mess up a little bit, pressing the wrong control, and so mess up the Maverick camera. Do in the end get it back, get the lock, and fire another rifle.
Gunman 1-1. November 1. Target's destroyed.
And then once more for the last target. Other than that, it's just a case of heading past the target because the secondary objectives are on the far side, and sure enough, although I only get sight of one of them, all of the Mavericks do hit home.
Gunman 2-1. Sierra 2. Target's destroyed.
Do turn a little bit evasive as I am taking sporadic AAA fire from the ground, but not much.
Gunman 2 proceeding to secondary target. Ronnie, do you have tally?
Hey, firm, Steve. We have 4 times self-propelled artillery to the east of the outpost and 2 grad rockets. Break, sound launch.
Copy. I'll make 1 attack run. I'm going to approach from the south of the target and run in on a northern attack heading.
Gunman
If there's any
3-1,
targets
November
left,
2,
it will
target
break off and
destroyed.
make a follow-up attack from the opposite direction.
Copy.
So yeah, all a little bit messy there, but did evade the SAM that was launched. Very nice on this campaign that your wingmen do tend to call out SAM launches. It really does help when the missile warning system doesn't quite pick them up in time. Decide here I'm going to drop my Mark 97. The anti-tank cluster bomb seems perfect for this target, so head in with that.
Gunman 4-1, 1 target destroyed.
Only real downside with this weapon is that it's not guided, but do have a quite nice approach here, so pickle away nicely, and then just have to wait a long while because these cluster bombs do take a while to properly jettison their little ordnances.
Pull up, pull up.
Gunman 5-1, target destroyed.
Unfortunately, I do get a rather rude surprise here,
Gunman 6-1, the target destroyed.
Break, sound
and
launch.
so have to turn very evasive. Do briefly see on the TGP view the little sub-munitions coming out the canister, which is pretty cool. It's the first time I've noticed that on the targeting pod. But I'm mostly distracted here trying to avoid this man pad as I'm trying to head over the target and past it to the far side. Do get a decent enough hit with my bomb, can see quite a lot of damage there, but the target is definitely not completely taken out, so I order in my wingman to make his pass.
Ronnie, re-attack from the west.
Hey, firm, engaging.
All units, ground attack is commencing. Friendly units advancing on Yasuj.
So we do get a message from Overlord here, but it's very, very blurred with static. If you can't make it out, that was that there was friendly units are now moving into the city. That's fine, I'm operating north of the city at this point. Now, luckily I am closely watching the target to see when my wingman drops. Luckily, because just as I'm peering over the TGP, see a SAM launch, and so immediately I go evasive just as my wingman's bomb is hitting down. So I recover there, no problem. Unfortunately, his bomb has gone long and doesn't seem to have gotten anything, which is rather unfortunate, and he doesn't seem particularly interested in re-engaging. So after considering it, I decide the target is far too lightly damaged to count. Still got plenty of munitions, so I decide to finish off the secondary target before returning to the stack. So first off, there is a compound at the end of this, two adjacent buildings that I aim for the midpoint of, since they are touching each other. They're surrounding AAA trucks and manpads in the area, and mostly I'm dropping this bomb to get rid of that pesky manpad who keeps shooting at me every time I go over. So head in, pickle, and then start lasing. Oh, this is a laser guided bomb that I've dropped, so I do need to maintain the laser line of sight to make sure it hits. Unfortunately, I do get launched on during all of this, and so turn a little bit evasive, but only a little bit. Mostly I'm just dumping flares. The bomb does hit directly on target though, and so that is a good effect there. Lots of targets destroyed in that pass. Next up, there's a pair of grad launchers in little revetments just by the entrance to the compound. Decide that my laser guided rockets will be enough to take those out. These are very lightly armoured things, and these are nice standoff weapons just in case there is another target there, another manpad there. So I head in, start lasing, fire off the rocket when it's vaguely pointed in the right direction. Don't really need to be accurate with these, the laser does its thing, and then turn away. And just a couple of seconds later, shack, one dead grad launcher. At this point I'm quite liking these north to south attacks because it keeps me away from the city, and I don't know the state of air defence left in the city. Shouldn't be much left, but you never know. So roll around, come back in on the neighbouring launcher, and same idea, line it up, fire, and then turn away while lasing. Get a bit nervous because the smoke is across the laser line of sight there. Not sure if that's modelled in DCS, but it doesn't matter, still hit home. That is second one down. Now, on approach I do repeatedly get missile warning alarms. At first I am flaring them heavily, then I realise that these are ground-based missile launchers just of our forward troops firing on the enemy, and so after that start ignoring them. The way head in, what is left is two armoured artillery pieces and a truck between them. I decide to finish these off with the GPS-guided GBU-38s, saving my laser-guided bomb in case I've got a moving target to deal with later. This time I try and take them out in one pass, and so line up on the first. When I'm happy with the parameters, I pickle, then immediately switch over to the other one, set that as my speed, upload it to all systems, and pickle that. And then just watch the lovely sight as these two bombs are released a couple of seconds apart. Hit home perfectly, nicely timed, all targets destroyed.
Ronnie, all targets destroyed. Return to formation.
Copy, lead.
And so at that point I just turn back towards the Marshall stack. And this is where the campaign seems to go a little bit awry. I'm not sure if it's just because I spent too long over the secondary target instead of returning straight away. Not sure if there was an issue with the comms channel. It says to tune to the JTAC channel, but there are none listed. There are just individual coloured channels. Normally there is a whiplash to tell you which one to tune into. Did try cycling between them but didn't get anything. Made sure I was on Overlord the whole time, flipped onto guard a few times, and all in all just didn't get anything. So there's definitely supposed to be extra call-ins here that require you to go back in over the city. I didn't get those. So instead I just hovered overhead and slowly watched as the ground troops go ahead and take through to the centre of the city.
Gunman 1-1, this is Gunman 2-1. Go ahead, 2-1. Tax completed as fragged. Bravo flight is stacked. Copy, Gunman 2-1. Hold in the stack until you're needed. Make sure you monitor the radio frequencies and pick up any CAS requests. Delegate requests between Bravo flight at your discretion. Copy all. Gunman 2-1 out.
4-4, just 1-1, passing marshal, round on stack.
Copy says 1-1. Gunman says inbound to relieve your tier 2 mark.
Copy, Overlord. All gunman flights were cleared for egress. Push now and clear the battle space. Gunman 1-1, Gunman 2-1. Go ahead, DB. Status, Steve. All good, sir. Me and Ronnie are in good shape. Copy, Steve. Do you know how the battle's going down there, Davey? First wave of security objectives. The follow-up is preparing to move in much further into the city. Casualties so far have been relatively light considering how well defended the city is. I'm not sure how long that'll go on for, though. There's a lot of city down there and the insurgents are welded in. There's going to be a lot of blood spilled on both sides before the city is cleared.
Pretty intense down there already. We'll end up leveling the city at this rate.
That's the problem. As soon as the IRGC dig into a building, there's a good chance we drop it. Let's be glad we don't live down there. You're not kidding. That's a hell of a lot of firepower we've been pouring into the city.
I find it hard to get my head round. I know when we attack there's a risk of collateral damage, yet when they ask we still come calling. And in that moment it's all about hitting the target. I know it's about protecting our guys on the ground, but their lives come at a cost.
Well, Ronnie, that's the thing. You see, freedom don't come free. Somewhere, someone's going to have to pay the price. You said it, Steve. It's cost us mono, and it's cost a lot of regular Iranians even more. And in the end, will we have made much difference? Have we left Iran in a better place than we found it? Yes, sir, we have. The old regime murdered thousands of its own people. Now he's gone. Iran's people will be heard. Elections are planned. The future looks brighter now. Could all still go wrong, Steve. Yes, sir. But at least it's in their own hands now.
You're such an optimist, Steve. For you, was it worth the cost?
Yes, evil is evil, and we can't turn a blind eye to it. A lot of evil in the world, Steve. You might be rather busy if you want to take it all on. Well then, it's lucky that I like my job. Gunman 1-1 of all flags. It's been a long road to Yasuj. We've seen a lot of the action, and we've taken some hits. But I'm proud of the part that 74th has played in protecting our forces in Iran. Once again, our squadron has shown the value of the Warthog and his skill with our hands. They're your thoughts on our mission, your efforts and sacrifice to save the lives of our troops. I'm damn proud to serve with you all. Now let's get back on the ground. Gunman 2-1, you're first. Make contact with Shiraz and land. The rest of us will follow you down.
So I managed to get back and land without any issue. There was meant to be an epilogue that would play over the comms once we landed. Unfortunately, when I got in, tuned to the correct channel, and I did triple check that this was the correct channel, tried multiple things, all I got was static. So yeah, a little bit of an anticlimax end to the campaign there, with the last epilogue cut off and the last mission not sending me on the optional objectives. Don't know if either of those are something that I did wrong or just something wrong with the campaign. By the way, it was a fun mission. It was quite challenging getting all of the missiles off on one pass. Could probably have done with doing less damage to the secondary target, then maybe I would have got the opportunity to go in for a further optional objectives. But anyway, that is the campaign wrapped up and done. So next week I'll be putting my thoughts together for a proper review of this campaign. Then after that we'll be starting something brand new. So I hope you join me for all of that. Thank you for watching, and remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.